We're going to talk about the churban habayis a little bit, and what does it mean to us. So first of all, I just want you to know, there's a klei yakar, kedai to look at it. I don't have it in front of me right now, but he brings down in general that it's on Perek Beis, Pasuk Gimel, and he says over there that the people who live in the aratzos of Esav and Yishmael, and they have money. So he says very careful that they should not show off their money with building fancy houses and all other ways of showing off money, because the sinner that the Goyim have for us is coming from that Yaakov, they're going to claim that really it's all theirs, because Yaakov stole the brachas from Esav, right? So all the shiras and all the good things that Klal Yisrael has is really belonging to them, and therefore you should not show it off because it'll be a tremendous sinner. And he says the same thing by the people who live in the aratzos of Yishmael, and he says it over there also because since Yishmael was slighted that Ki b'Yitzchak yikari l'chazara, and all the brachas of Avram went over to Yitzchak and didn't go to Yishmael, therefore they're going to come b'taina that everything you have is really ours, right? As you see today in Eretz Yisrael, they're all claiming that it all belongs to the Arabs anyways. That's coming from, the sherish of all that is coming from Yishmael and Yitzchak, that they have a taina from way back. So therefore, now, so how is that to coming into the churban? So to fit it in, as you know, there is ayin umos. And when the Sfarim, HaKadoshim, when they talk about the ayin umos, they talk about the 70 nations, they always talk about +2. Who's the +2? The +2 is Esav and Yishmael. And what's the midah keneged midah? Because there was ayin nefesh that Yardu Mitzrayim, that's the sherish of Klal Yisrael. So when they bring it down, they say that it's really ayin beis, and the ayin beis is the ayin nefesh that went down to Mitzrayim, plus Avraham and Yitzchak. So you see the mamish midah keneged midah of the ayin umos and the ayin nefesh that went down to Mitzrayim, and it's +2. So the +2 is the Esav and Yishmael that's having tainas that we stole everything from them. And included in that, we are countering it with saying that included with us is the Avraham and the Yitzchak who wanted to give it to us anyhow, so don't come with a taina. So that's all mushrash in the Yesod of Klal Yisrael. So where did churban habayis come from? It came from those ummos mostly. Now, to go to churban itself, where is, when I say churban habayis happened how long ago? A few thousand years ago. So, it's very nice that a building, very fancy building burnt down, but where does Maya Velos come into churban habayis? How does it fit in? I mean, it's very difficult to be misabel on something that happened so long ago. So, pshat is like this. As we know, V'asuli migdash shachanti b'seicham is talking about on each person, on himself, right? That we all have a yetzer hara, and we all have a chiv to do mitzvahs, and also to be beichel b'tayv, and we don't, unfortunately. What happens? We nichshal in the tayvus, and we do averis. So what happens? Our guf is supposed to be a mishkan, right? It should be a makam shchina b'tachtainim, right? Ashras shchina b'tachtainim is in the mikdash, and it's going on you. So if you are not considered a place that's roi for hashras hashchina inside you, so that's a churban. He doesn't fit inside you. Therefore, you have to be misabel, right? On that fact that the Shechina is no longer inside you, and because of the Averis of the previous Dairis and the Averis of today's Dairis, therefore we're not feeling that Ashra Shechina amongst us. And how do you see also that the Churban comes from it? Because the word charav means to destroy. When things are beseder, then it's Lashon chaver, which means first of all connected, which also tells you nachatam why we spoke about last time why it's sinas chinam was goyim to Beis Hamikdash to be destroyed. So last time we said because since you hate the guy because he did some avla to you, but really that avla was going to happen anyhow. You're going to lose that money anyhow, and this guy was just a shliach, and that was a really exer from Shemayim. But since we don't feel that, we feel that that guy did it. So really, we're bisala kaifa and kutshabrichu because really it was a shlichus. So therefore, it causes churban habayis because we're basically being kaifa and kutshabrichu. We're not accepting the fact that it came from Rebbeinu Shlalom. We think the guy did us in, right? So that was what we said last time. And this time, we're going to add to it that the chaver and the charav is the same shirish. That if you don't have chaver, if the sinner, then it's churban, lashon charav. And that's how you see everything works, a midah keneged midah. The Rebbeinu Shlalom created the world, everything is midah keneged midah. I don't know if I saw it, if I heard it, if I made it up, I don't remember, but whatever it is that there's 21 days and 3 weeks, which is from Shavas B'Tammuz till Tisha B'Av, right? And midah keneged midah is 21 days of Yontif, right? So that everything is working exactly a midah keneged midah, as you see in the Chav Ches Itim in Kaiheles, right? It's Eis Livkais and Eis L'Smayach. They have to be mamish lined up exactly. And that's why it's also Kahamis Abel, Ayushalayim, Berchobana, Zeiche V'Raya, B'Hibanaisa. That's mamish the midah keneged midah of Eis L'Smayach and Eis Livkais. So if you are crying, then you'll be able to be misameach. K'moshe Kosov, Oz Yimale, that's referring, Oz is like Oz Yashiz, La'asid Lava is Oz Yimale Schayk Pina, right? So then we mole Schayk by the binyan Beis Hamikdash, and how will we be Zaychet to it? By being misabel on Yerushalayim. How do you see also that the churban habayis is like some sort of churban of the whole bria? So I saw in Sefer Likutim from Rav Moshe David Valley, he brings down that Yerushalayim is considered the center of the world. If you look at a map, I don't know if it really works out, right? But I said if you look at a map, it's the center of the world. If you look at a map, I don't know if it's exactly in the middle. But the word, what? Oh, so the word is that just like you have a wheel, right? Let's say think of your bicycle, right? So your bicycle is attached to the bar which holds up the bike, right? And the spokes around it, that's the Shivim Umas, right? So Yerushalayim is in the center, and that if you take out that piece in the middle, the whole thing collapses. So you see that Yerushalayim is holding up the whole world. And so too, in a person, if you peg him in the leva of the person, so if you take out the heart, nothing works. So Yerushalayim and Klal Yisrael is like the shirish, is like the lave of the whole entire bria, and if you peg him in that, so the whole world is charav. And that's why when there was a churban habayis, was a begam and the ganze Welt. Now why do we need to have churban in the bria? Let's have the bria without the churban. So as you know, there's a midah keneged midah, and the only way for a person to improve is yerida is tzarech aliyah, right? That's why also you have the sulamus of Arsa, right? Malchei Elokim Olam v'Yardim. That's the chelik of the bria. Everything has to go either up or down. It can't stay still. So therefore, you have to have a churban in order to be misaken it, in order to be able to go back up. So we have to have churban in the bria in order that we should be able to go up to reach higher madregas. So therefore, what can we say? We can say that hopefully we'll be misabel properly, and then we'll all be zayche to see Yerushalayim b'Yibana. And on that note, we should all always be b'simcha.